I'm terrified of certain bridges. Like the
you may have
fucking Walt
mentioned.
Whitman Bridge, the Walt Whitman Bridge. I cannot cross the Walt Whitman Bridge without dripping with sweat.
It's a medical issue, and I'm still laughing at it. I'm sorry.
And
No,
that's
I
okay.
mean, you know what? My father has it. My father, I remember, like, it never stopped him from, you know, going on vacation
Right,
and
yeah.
taking these things. But I remember, you know, we would get to like a tunnel, and my mom would be like, "Okay, everybody, nobody just talking right now. We're gonna go through the
I love that. I
tunnel."
love the accent. The
Yeah,
accent
it's
is
great.
fabulous.
My
I was gonna
mother
do an
would
accent, and I got one for
immediately-
free.
Yeah, my mother would immediately say, please don't talk right now. You know, Daddy has to go through the tunnel."
Great.
And and like you couldn't move, you couldn't ask for, and you just had to like, you know,
Hold
allow
on to
him to
your life.
hyperventilate through the entire tunnel and then get through the other side. And like, please, Prattiti, it's 2 tunnels in a row. Okay, there's 2 tunnels. You have to get through this one and then the next one, and then we see
Great.
about.
It's great.
Okay.
I'm good with certain bridges. I've been practicing, so I have to go to Philadelphia a lot. So I went over to Burlington. The bridge in Trenton is easy, no issue. I went over to Burlington Bristol Bridge, no problem. I went over the Betsy Ross by accident. I was like, fuck, I hope I can do this. And it was no problem. I'm like, this is great. It's that Walt Whitman Bridge.
Why? What's the thought about the Walt Whitman Bridge? Tell me what you're thinking.
It goes up. Like it goes, and you have to climb. It's like climb.
What do you think?
Going
You're like, I'm on a roller coaster.
I don't know. And then you get to like the top, and I'm just like, I'm like white knuckle sweating. I'm like, I gotta hope I can make it. But then when I do it successfully, then I start calling people. I'm gonna call you one time. I think
Well,
it'll
you
be
should
great.
just call me while you're on it. I mean, you've coached.
Titi, I'm on the bridge.
Yeah. Please don't jump. We've coached enough. You've coached enough with me that you should be able to just ask yourself the question, what am I thinking right now that's causing me to feel this way?
You know, I know part of it goes back. I had an accident on a bridge. Part of it goes back to that, you know, and that I think scares me. That scares me a little bit. On the bridge on the Garden State Parkway, I had an accident. It was a snowy night. I had a Cougar. Remember the Cougars from like the 80s? That car,
goodness, yes.
rear-wheel drive. I should have slept overnight at work. I had the option to do that, and I said, you know what? I got a little kid at home, so I'm gonna drive. I'm gonna drive home. And I got on that Cheesequake Bridge or whatever the fuck they call that bridge, and I lost control of the car, and I hit the side of the embankment of the guardrail. And I think if I would have went, like, I wasn't going through the guardrail, but if I would have went through the guardrail, I would have flown over the thing and I would have died. But I hit it hard.
Oh, you would have flown over the bridge into the water?
Yeah, and died. That's how I would have died. That was, but none of that happened, obviously. I hit it really hard and I was like, shit, now I'm stuck in this bridge. Then I had to drive down to the bottom of the bridge and I sat there for like an hour because it was snowing. Like, what idiot is out? And luckily, this nice state trooper came and he helped me out and he got me a tow truck and I was able to get towed home and all that kind of stuff. And I think that that lived with me for a long time. But I never had a problem until recently. So I looked up this fear of bridges, right? But again, it's inconsistent because I'm not afraid of all bridges. But I think it has to do with other anxieties in my life. And I think that other things in my life have happened that caused me great anxiety, work related, family related, whatever it is. And then even though those things are below the surface, I get when it's time to do something else that adds stress to my life, I think that adversely affects me.
Yeah. Well,
You know
I mean, anxiety is one of those things that it's not, you don't just have it in one area of your life. It affects you in a lot of areas of your life because it's this, you know, anxiety. If you break it all the way down, it's like worry, right? It's I'm worried about something. It's stress that's built up. But when you're worried about something, there's a thought that you're having that something may go wrong, right?
Right.
Pretty much. That's the program that's kind of running on our brain anyway. It's like the software that we have for our brain. It's something's gone wrong. And that's just us evolved properly. But anxiety and panic start coming from when it's like this irrational, nonstop, constant thought that something is going to go wrong. And it's the anticipation of it. It's not that it actually ever happens.
And I'm not flying off the Walt Whitman Bridge on a sunny day on Tuesday, driving to Philadelphia. It's not happening. And I know that it's not happening, but sometimes, you know, like, but the other bridges, like the Betsy Ross Bridge, I really think it's that climb. I think that that affects me. So
well, it's actually what's happening is, if I may, just for a moment.
Of course. Yeah, please.
It is exactly what this program is all about uncovering. Is we're not just living an autopilot life with the actions being habits, right? You think like, oh, I have a habit to come home from work and get a beer. That's an action. Anxiety comes from the practiced thought. The habit is the thought. Every time I go over this bridge, this is the automatic thought that I have.
Sure.
So it automatically, it's not that you don't understand intellectually that nothing's going to happen to you, right? It's not like my ex-husband, he couldn't drive for further than like 10 minutes away from the house by himself. It's not because he thought, if I pass this light, I'm going to die. Intellectually, he knows nothing's going to happen. But it's when you're not processing that emotion and understanding where it's coming from, and then allowing yourself some love and compassion and grace through it, and not beating yourself like, why am I so stupid? There's no big, like, what's the big deal? Like, this is so dumb. That's not helpful.